serving member, however you want to phrase it. Tom MacArthur joins us on the Spring Dance Hot Tubs Hotline. Hey, Congressman, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Dom. How are you?
Very, very well. Now, I read, the Inquirer coverage and some of the Jersey coverage of your first debate, and the question I have, and the president's kind of touched on this, the economy is going great. The tax cuts and deregulation are a large part of it, but I'm not hearing it anymore from listeners and all, and I'm wondering out there, when you're trying to reach voters, are they aware of it? Are they buying into some kind of media telling them that it's not affecting their everyday lives? Tom, what's happening?
Well, I think voters are pretty smart people. Dom, they know what's going on. They know that the economy is growing, wages are rising. And one of the more amusing parts of this forum that I have with Andy Kim, first, it's the first one he was willing to do. He bagged a prior one. I guess they didn't think he was ready for prime time. But he was very evasive during this one. And then when we got to the economy, he started declaring how we need to cut regulation and lower taxes. And I stopped him and said, Andy, that's exactly what we did with the tax cuts bill, and that's what we're trying to do, regulation after regulation. We're meeting nothing but opposition from your party. And asked him about it. He had no answer for it. I think he wants to convince people that the economy is faltering, and it's not faltering. Wages are way up for everybody. 90% of Americans are seeing higher paychecks because of tax cuts. Unemployment is at an 18-year low, but if you take 1 month out, it's at a 50-year low. Mm-hmm. And it's just incredible what's happening. And to me, look, I spent my whole life in business, and I learned a lot of things over 30 years. One of them is people are capable of taking care of their own lives without government bureaucrats controlling it. And as the government, as we have lightened up and lowered taxes and cut through a lot of dysfunction to get that done, you can just see growth being unleashed as barriers come down. That's what we have to continue to do. That's why this race for the House is so important, because if the Democrats take control of the House, they want to go back to the bad old days where the government tells you what to do, and the government controls more of the economy. It's a bad idea. It's always been a bad idea.
Now, did the underlying issue, and I'm sure my read on this Andy Kim guy, President Obama, he was on his list of people he endorsed, would support impeaching President Trump. Are you trying to flesh him out on that? Is that issue? Do you think that's an issue that voters should know about?
I think it is, and he's been evasive on that and eliminating. It took him days to issue a statement on ICE. It would have taken me a nanosecond. Dom, the people at the border are law enforcement officers that deserve our gratitude and our support. They have a very tough job, and they are saving children who are being trafficked. They are interdicting huge amounts of drugs, including enough fentanyl I don't know how many people, but, since it only takes about a grain of fentanyl to kill somebody, probably hundreds of thousands of people, they should be supported and encouraged, and Andy Kim couldn't issue a statement for days after he was called out on ICE. So, yeah, I think people should know that. We don't need more dysfunction in Washington. We need a government that works, and if Nancy Pelosi becomes Speaker again, and some of these ranking members like Maxine Waters start controlling major committees, all you're going to see are impeachment hearings, administration officials grilled, corporate leaders raked over the coals. It's a whole different view of the role of government than the one that will actually help our families across the country and the state.
Now, where you are in Jersey, and I realize it's a deep blue state, your district has had a lot of Republicans in there, though, or some. Saxon was one that I remember, and I guess John Runyon, right? I mean, Republicans can get elected. President brought it up again last night, Tom, and some of these cultural issues, if you will, are going to play out during your time in the home stretch of this. The NFL and the kneeling thing and the back and forth, he got to it again last night. I think people care about it. In addition to the pocketbook issues, you're as strong as anybody on health care, given what you went through with your daughter, your knowledge, insurance-wise. You've been one of the people that helped to make it better so far, and you face down, talk about an angry mob. Are you still getting that angry mob resistance like your public enemy number one out there?
Yeah, sure I am. And you see it go up and down as sometimes as the president does things that enrage that mob. But I think you're right about these cultural issues, and I think sometimes they intersect with security issues or economic issues. So, for example, controlling our border, which is absolutely critical that we get a control on who is coming in the country over our both borders, but especially our southern border. That is a security issue, and yet the left tries to turn it into a racial and an ethnic and a open borders and, you know, those sorts of issues that play to their social values. And I think Republicans, the conservatives, likewise, should feel that there's a social element to that. What kind of country do people want? If they just want an open border, that anybody can cross in, even if they mean our country harm, even if they're a gang member, even if they're carrying drugs. It's incredible to me that people would support that, and yet that is what the left is pushing for.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because you're in a tougher state than many Republicans, and if you're going to be pursuing that and are pursuing that, I think that's a very good course of action, even in a place like New Jersey. It's common sense that we need borders. There's just no doubt about that. Hey, Tom, would you tell people where they can go if they support you, want to volunteer, or to see what you're up to as this continues?
Well, I think the website is MacArthurforcongress.com, and I would welcome people to get involved. The conservatives need to be engaged. We really are fighting a fight for our economic future. I think for who we are on the world stage, for what kind of a country we're going to be, and I think the left has tried to put out there a big lie that Republicans don't support diversity or Republicans don't support women's rights. No, we support all those things. What we don't support is government trying to dictate every last piece of people's lives.
Absolutely.
What we don't support is trying to become some kind of a European socialist country. That I don't support. I think that is what we have to fight against. And so I really hope, and our polling shows, by the way, Don, that Republicans are just as energized as Democrats. This idea of a great big blue wave because Democrats are so enthused. Yeah, they are enthused, but so are Republicans. And I think all Americans need to get to the polls, vote their conscience, vote for people they think are going to move the country forward. And if we do, then I think we'll have the right results.
Absolutely. Hey, Tom, thank you. Anytime you'd like to come on, we'd love to hear from you.
My pleasure, Tom. Take care, and hello to all your listeners.
Congressman Tom MacArthur on the Spring Dance Hot Tubs Hotline. All righty, 855-839-1210. That's encouraging that he thinks some of the issues we talk about, they play out. I wish more Republicans here in Bucks County and in Pennsylvania would go with them. All right, so here is an example of something that has blown up that I have a stake in, and let's talk about this. Dinesh D'Souza's film the other night, we had people there at the event who are honest. They liked a large part of it, the screening we did, and they critiqued some parts of it that they thought he should have done more or done less. So Don Trump Jr. yesterday tweets out that he had seen Dinesh's film, and he